If you're building an app today, you've probably looked at Supabase and Firebase, and you've probably wondered which backend is a better service for the needs of your application. So in this video, I'm going to give you a real practical breakdown of the advantages and disadvantages of both platforms so you can make the best decision for your app's backend going forward. Now, there's something I got to tell you guys before we dive in. This YouTube channel has a partnership with Supabase. So you guys may be saying, all right, dude, turn it off. Like, this is going to be a super biased video. That's not the case, I promise. I have built production apps with both Supabase and Firebase well before the partnership that I have with Supabase, and I promise to give you my full unbiased opinion of the differences between the two platforms. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and do a high-level overview of the differences between the two platforms. This is like the too long didn't read, essentially. Firebase is a fully managed, opinionated backend, managed, owned, and operated by Google, built around NoSQL or NoSQL. Whereas Supabase is an open source backend platform as a service built on Postgres, which is a relational database. So that's the single decision that you are looking at here. NoSQL versus SQL. It affects how you model data, how your app scales, how you debug issues, and even how expensive your app becomes over time, and ultimately what you can do or how you can work with your data. So we're going to start by diving into the strengths and weaknesses of Firebase, and then follow that directly with the strengths and weaknesses of Supabase. Top 3 advantages of Firebase. First is speed to market. Firebase is still one of the fastest ways to get a backend up and running for your application. Authentication, database management, hosting, push notifications, etc. It's all there, and it works directly out of the box. So second, you have automatic scaling. So you don't really have to think about infrastructure or how your backend scales. Firebase handles traffic expansion extremely well. So third is the Google ecosystem. You just get that for free with Firebase because it's owned, operated, and managed by Google. So things like analytics, crashlytics, remote configurations, alpha beta testing are deeply integrated and very well polished, and they interface nicely with Google. So if you're building an MVP or a consumer app or something where iteration speed or first to market matters most, Firebase is hard to beat there. I'm not going to lie. So next up, let's do the top 3 downsides of Firebase. It does have some real trade-offs. So vendor lock-in is a big one. Once your data model is deeply tied to Firestore, migrating away from that is painful. So if you need to migrate to another backend, say Supabase or AWS or MongoDB, that migration can be a little bit troublesome. Then you have NoSQL complexity. Simple apps are fine, but when relationships grow and become more complex, you start duplicating a lot of data in Firebase and managing edge cases manually and writing complex client-side logic, because Firebase certainly has its limitations because of that NoSQL platform. And lastly, costs can really sneak up on you. Reads, listeners, writes, and real-time updates can scale fast and not always in a predictable way. I've seen horror stories of people having their apps developed by lower tier developers that end up writing some sort of infinite loop that causes a ton of writes and reads from Firebase and getting bills in the tens of thousands of dollars just randomly, all because some coder didn't know what he was doing. So overall, with Firebase, it's extremely easy to get set up. A lot of things just work right out of the box. And if speed to market is important for you, it's hard to beat. But if you really plan to scale your app and the relational data is very complex, like imagine an app like Instagram, where there's a ton of relationships between users and posts and all of that stuff, Firebase definitely has some pitfalls. It can be done, it's just harder to do on top of a NoSQL database. Now that we've covered Firebase, let's go ahead and dive into the advantages and disadvantages of Supabase. So first and most important is Postgres. That's what Supabase is built on top of. You're working with a real relational database. So you have things like joins, constraints, indexes, migrations, all of that fancy backend speak, right? If you've never fought against a NoSQL schema, this feels like a huge upgrade. Second, you have ownership and flexibility. So Supabase is completely open source. You can self-host if you want. You're not locked into a proprietary database model like you are with Firebase. And third, backend power without boilerplate. So you get things like row-level security, real-time subscriptions, and edge functions, the equivalent to Firebase's cloud functions, all built on top of proven backend primitives. So Supabase feels less like a shortcut and more like a serious backend platform, something like AWS. So now let's talk about the downsides. Yes, I'm giving you downsides of Supabase in a Supabase sponsored video. So there's definitely a learning curve, right? Supabase is definitely a little bit more difficult to get going with, whereas Firebase is a little bit easier to set up and get rocking with your app. You need at least a basic understanding of SQL and relational data modeling. You're also closer to the backend or closer to the metal, right? So this gives you power, but it also requires more responsibility compared to Firebase's magic. But you get that customization and more freedom with that trade-off. So it's not harder, it's just more explicit. Now that we've sort of covered advantages and disadvantages of both, let's talk about when to use one versus the other, the ultimate decision for your application. So when to use Firebase. If you want to ship really fast, Firebase is, like I said, it's hard to beat, man. And if your data model is relatively simple, Firebase is right for you. And if you don't want to think about backend structure yet, you just want to display like a proof of concept or an MVP, Firebase optimizes for speed and convenience, especially early on, or for more beginner level developers. Now, when to use Supabase. So you should consider Supabase if your app has relational or complex data. You want long-term flexibility, you care about your backend ownership and scalability, and you're building something meant to scale in complexity over time. Ultimately, Supabase optimizes for control, clarity, long-term complexity and scalability, as well as more granular security policies for how data is managed in your backend and how it's accessed by users in your application. So if you guys want to see this stuff in practice, I actually have multiple app series on this channel completely free where I build real apps using Supabase and Firebase. So you can see for yourself which one you like better and which one fits the needs of your application. So here on the YouTube channel, we have a TikTok clone built from the ground up using Firebase. Then we also have 2 app series built with Supabase, where the latest one was building a marketplace application. And we also have another one where we build an X or Twitter clone using Supabase. And guys, this gives you a preview of the app with Firebase. This is the TikTok clone. And then this gives you a small preview of the app building the marketplace with Supabase. So make sure you guys check that out on the channel to get some real practice with this stuff. And also make sure you check us out online at appstuff.io, where we have full pro versions of these courses. Instagram, Airbnb, Threads, Tinder, all built using Swift UI and a mix of Supabase and Firebase. So if you guys want access to all of the content we have here at AppStuff, you can become a member with us and get unlimited access to all of our content for just $49 a month. Or you can save some money with the annual membership at $299 a year. So we don't just have pro app clones, we also have courses on interview prep. I myself used to work at Meta, have passed interviews at the highest level at places like Meta and Google and Uber. And I encapsulate all of the information you need to have to succeed with interviews as an iOS developer in these courses here. We also have fundamentals courses with things like test-driven development, AI and machine learning for iOS, fundamentals of Swift, mastering Swift concurrency. We have everything you need to get started as an iOS developer or level up your skills as an iOS developer to get to that senior or architect level. So make sure you guys check us out at appstuff.io. And thanks for watching this video. This is brought to you by Supabase. We have a partnership here with them. They've been awesome to work with so far, and I'm really looking forward to continue to work with them in the future. Now, if you have to ask me what I prefer to build an app with, it really depends on sort of the breakdown we went through throughout the course of this video. Now, if I have an app that I know is going to have complex relational data, I'm going to use Supabase. If I have something that I need to get up and running really, really quickly, I'm probably going to use Firebase, and that's okay. I hope Supabase doesn't get mad at me for saying that. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Stefan here from AppStuff saying peace out.